long, long time ago, in a vast kingdom, there was a great king, the King of Kings. He was just and fair, and his foremost principle for ruling his kingdom was holding justice above all, and providing justice for all his subjects, men, women, and children alike. This King of Kings had a bell installed outside his gates of his palace. Tied to the bell was a chain known across the kingdom as the chain of justice. Anyone living in the realm in need of help, who was wronged, who was treated unfairly, needed only to approach the palace gates, pull the chain, and ring the bell. The king would provide them with assistance to set the wrongs, serve them justice, and help solve their problems. One day, the bell started to ring. It rang quite vigorously and quite loudly. The king was surprised at the instant ringing and knew that there was someone there, outside the gates, in desperate need of help. Hearing the call, the king, rather than sending down his servants, rushed out himself. He found himself stunned, perplexed, and mystified at the sight. He could not believe what he saw. There it was, a great, giant dragon, who was madly, desperately pulling at the chain and ringing the bell as though his precious life depended on it. The king asked the dragon, "Do tell, what kind of injustice have you received to make you so anxious for my help?" The dragon could not talk and was able to only cry. The King of Kings thought to himself, "A subject of mine is a subject of mine, even if that subject happens to be a dragon. I made a vow to myself to help all my subjects who pull the chain of justice and ring the bell. It is my duty to help this dragon, just as I would help any other creature living in my kingdom." Then, the King of Kings ordered that the best of the tradesmen, in every possible trade, who lived in his kingdom, be gathered in front of his palace gate. They were asked to come immediately, as their king needed their assistance in a large task. Once all of the men had gathered, and many were indeed the greatest and best in their trade, the king turned to the dragon and asked, "You, mighty one, who can fly the greatest heights of the sky and who can breathe fire, what has brought you to tears?" The dragon couldn't reply. He only cried. The king asked again, "Do tell, or else I cannot assist you. For who of these legendary men who can perform miracles with their hands, can help you solve this seemingly problem of yours?" Not saying a word, and numbered by his sorrows, the dragon came forward and chose the carpenter from all of the king's men. The king ordered the carpenter go with the great dragon and assist him with his problem, whatever that might be. The carpenter, who was trembling in fear because of the giant dragon, picked up his tools and climbed on the dragon's back. The two left the palace gates and set out on a journey. The dragon flew off with him and flew away to a massive cave, the dragon's den, which was way beyond the gates of the city. The two arrived at the cave. The carpenter climbed down, and the two entered it. The carpenter was shocked by what he saw. There was another dragon, the dragon's wife, and she was in agony, twisting and turning in pain. She had the great antlers of a stag stuck in her throat. The antlers were so huge, the tips of them were sticking out of her mouth. The dragon's husband pleaded to the carpenter, went down on his knees and begged him to help him and save his wife. Quite swiftly, the carpenter pulled out his saw, and skillfully cut off the antlers piece by piece and pulled them out until the dragon's wife was freed from it. The dragons were overjoyed and overwhelmed with gratitude. In return for the king and his carpenter's kindness, and to show their gratitude for saving his wife, the dragon rewarded the kingdom, the palace, and the king with a bag of golden seeds, which sparkled under the glow of the sun like droplets of gold. It was early spring, and the king ordered the royal gardeners to plant the golden seeds and look after them with utmost care. The seeds sprouted, and as spring gave way to summer, the plants grew and grew. As autumn winds started to blow and the leaves started to change color in the late summer, the plants of the golden seeds bore the most amazing golden fruit, the golden melon. There were so many golden melons that, at the autumn equinox celebrations, the king gave each of the townspeople one sweet golden melon, the divine gift from the dragon and his wife.